I, 20 male, have been living with my mother, 50, and 3 siblings, young teen male, tween female, and teen female, for the last 2 years and working full-time. My mother demanded that I deposit all the money into her account on the day I received my pay. While I realise this seems extreme, my mother would often tell me that I'm the man of the household and am responsible for supporting her and my siblings. When I asked to keep some money for myself for savings, she would start screaming and/or crying and shaming me. One time, when I suggested I wanted to move out, she flipped and started packing all my stuff and told me to leave right then and there. When I explained that I couldn't because I had no money to my name because I paid it all to her, she continued to tell me to go now if I wanted to leave. Obviously, I relented. I discussed my issue with my coworker, who suggested I move out the day I got paid. So I kept the peace at home while looking for a place I could rent with roommates, and on my payday went to work with my clothes and essentials and then went to my new place. I then sent a message to my mother telling her I wouldn't be coming home. Now she has blown up my phone with many texts stating that I'm abandoning her and my siblings and that I won't live up to my responsibilities. I think this is absurd. But then she says I could have at least given her a heads up that I was leaving a few weeks in advance, as she relied on my money to pay for the rent, bills and food. She's now asking for my part of the rent from my pay for the past 2 weeks, saying it's only fair because I didn't give her any advance notice. But I didn't give her any advance notice because I feared a big blow-up. I still feel guilty, though. Have I thrown her and my siblings under the bus? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You didn't tell her because she tried to kick you out the last time you did. She tried to kick you out. So block her and move on. By the way, she is legally responsible for providing for herself and her minor children. She told you lies and it will take some time for you to unpack all of them. She'll say anything to manipulate you, so please be aware of that and don't take what she says as truthful. Yeah, Opie is not the man of the house. He's barely legally an adult. And if he's supposed to be the man of the house, she can't kick him out. She wants him to hold this absurd title, so she needs to give him the privileges associated with it, not just the negative aspects like having to pay all the bills. Give him the honours and benefits if you want to give him the title. It's his house now. He gets to make the decisions, right, Mom? She probably doesn't have any money because she's leeching off her adult son expecting him to support her children. The mother is a massive idiot. He should call CPS. Her children are not your responsibility, they're hers. She's also responsible for her own life. The father of these children is responsible. Where's he? Is your mom displacing and transferring the resentment she feels for your dad to you? A few manipulative games are going on here. It's emotionally healthy for you to be away from her. You should thank your coworker. They help you avoid years of financial abuse. I'm sorry you're going through this. My girlfriend, 28, and I, 31 male, have been dating for 4 years. I purchased my first home last year and we moved in together. She's not on the title and doesn't pay anything towards the mortgage. She's in grad school and works part-time, so she simply doesn't have that kind of money right now. She helps pay for utilities and groceries, but that's pretty much it. Honestly, I think she's getting a pretty sweet deal. I do, however, expect her to do chores around the house. She was brought up in a very sheltered environment. She's the youngest of 4 siblings, and in my opinion, her parents babied the crap out of her. Her dad, in particular, did everything for her. When we first started dating, she was still taking her car to him so he could bring it in for oil changes. Since she's moved in with me, there's been a learning curve. First, I had to teach her how to clean and do dishes. She didn't know that you can't just put absolutely everything in the dishwasher. Cooking is a hard no for her and she's perfectly fine ordering out for every single meal. She's never used a rake, lawnmower or shoveled snow. I think I've been very patient with her regarding teaching her these things, but everything I try to teach her is met with resistance or is too hard or too dirty, and she gives up and expects me to do it. I've let go of a lot of this because I love her and I know that a lot of this is her parents' fault, not hers. But last weekend I finally had it. I had to visit my parents to help my dad with the projects he's working on. This had been arranged for weeks, so my girlfriend knew about it. So before I left, I asked her if she could mow the lawn at some point during the weekend because it was getting long. It was the only thing I asked her to do. When I got home on Sunday, the lawnmower was in the middle of the half-mown yard. So I asked girlfriend what that was about and she said it ran out of gas and didn't know what to do. She said she called her dad for help, but he's out of town, and he told her to fill a tank up at a gas station, but she didn't know where the tank was or how to fill the lawnmower, so she just left everything as it was so that I could help her. I told her I was tired of her acting like she was utterly incapable of figuring out things alone. I told her it's ridiculous that she can watch a 5-minute YouTube video of a new makeup technique and figure it out first try, but she can't figure out how to pour gas into a lawnmower. I told her I'm tired of her weaponized incompetence, and if she's not going to pull her weight on chores, she will have to start paying rent to live here. She got defensive and told me I shouldn't be treating her like she's a servant and expecting her to do things she's never done before, and that I'm an idiot for expecting her to pay rent when I know she can't afford it and she won't help me pay my mortgage and get nothing out of it. Not the idiot. Basically, she told you she isn't going to act like an adult. I think she needs to move back in with Daddy so he can keep her. I also find it strange she didn't call you to ask those questions. Actually, I do know why, because you tell her, unlike her dad, who'd do it for her. I'd find an actual adult to date, as this one isn't done maturing yet. So damned entitled. How dare you treat me like a servant? That's only okay for you. How dare you make me pay rent? That's only okay for you. How dare you make me do something hard? That's only okay for you. I can't believe OP put up with this for so long. Him letting it go sounds just like what her parents did. She's almost 30 and doesn't seem to have basic logic skills or any interest in learning how to be self-sufficient. I also don't know how to fill the gas tank of a lawnmower, but I'm pretty sure a quick Google search would solve that problem if I had to do it. She's not pulling her weight. You want a partner, not a child. She's taking advantage of you. This will not change unless she has a solid reason for it to change. So, I own a small store and my daughter has always been helping around since she was 14, but now she's 18 and keeps asking me to pay her for what she does. As I said earlier, she always willingly helped me run the store as I mainly do it all by myself, although I have one part-timer. Since the mother isn't here anymore, she always tries to help me as best she can, but lately she keeps asking me to pay her because she says that what she does is what an employee would do, so for her, she deserves it. However, I think she doesn't, because she arranges the store, cleans it up, and sometimes takes care of checkout. I mean, yes, it's something an employee would be paid for, but since she's my daughter and I already provide for her and pay for all her living expenses, I don't think that paying her would be right. It would just be spoiling her. I already refused several times, but she doesn't want to give up and keep sulking and being angry at my answer. She's going to college next year and I will be paying for it, which is not something every parent does for their child, so she's a bit over the top with this request for me. So, am I the idiot? Just to add, I never forced her to work for me. She's the one who asked to work for me as it allows her to spend more time with me. Working at my store is our little bonding time together. If she wants to quit, I will allow her, and if she wants to work somewhere else, I would too. I never told her that I wouldn't pay for her college if she stopped working for me, and I constantly pay for anything and everything she asks me for. I give her spending money if she asks. If she wants new clothes or wants to buy something she found on the internet, I would buy it for her, and if she asked me to do something with her, I do it. She's my only child and daughter, and I try my best to treat her as best as possible. You are the idiot. She's doing the work of an employee. Inventory, custodial duties, and customer service are a job. Children are not supposed to be your aides by default, just because you house and feed them. Those things are your job as a parent. Heck, it's normal for kids to get an allowance for simple household chores. She's helping you run a store. Give her the proper compensation. You feel proud of yourself for providing your child with housing and fulfilling the bare basic requirements of a parent. Pathetic. Donate to your daughter's work. Or, don't be shocked if she eventually finds a new career that pays her, leaving you to fill the vacuum due to your petty behaviour. Also, you're paying for her college. Well, who else is going to, since you've monopolised her employable time to serve you in your store without payment, when she could have been doing the same job somewhere else and been getting paid and saving her own money? Going against the grain here, not the idiot. Draw up a list of living expenses you currently provide her and stop them. She is 18 and you are no longer legally required to do so. Be sure to include college tuition and living expenses in there. Now list how much you would pay her as an employee, tax withholdings, etc. Show her the two balance scenarios and let her pick which one she wants to choose. I wish this wasn't plaguing my mind as much as it is, but here we are. My husband and I, 29 male and 26 male, got married last weekend. The actual event was beautiful and we both had a lovely time. We kept the ceremony very small, only inviting 15 people, but wanted a huge party for our reception. We made it clear in advance that no alcohol would be served. We wanted to ensure that no one overindulged and did something they might not do otherwise. The bigger reason is that my husband struggled with alcoholism before he and I met. He was already well into his recovery by the time he and I connected and didn't mind friends having a drink or two when we went out to dinner, but I know he never feels 100% comfortable around it. Some of our guests don't know about this either. I wanted him to be able to relax and have fun, not be on guard that a drink might get shoved into his hand at any moment. To make a long story short, I found out my brother and sister-in-law, 21 male, adult female, had brought flasks and were sneaking drinks. One of my groomsmen overheard and told me they were bragging to other guests. I kicked them out. I tried not to make a scene inside the venue, but I dragged my brother outside and yelled at him to get the heck away from my husband and me. I didn't care if they needed to call an Uber or camp out in the car until they sobered up. I just wanted them gone. I was able to enjoy the rest of my night with my partner and only told him about it the next morning. He wasn't even angry on his behalf, but he apologized that something happened that put a damper on the night for me, even a little bit. That made me even angrier because he didn't need to apologize. My mum called me on Monday to ask how I was doing, but my brother and sister-in-law came up. She said they were just doing what young adults do and I should have given them a second chance by making them pour out the drinks or confiscating the flask. I hung up. At this point, I don't feel like I can be objective. I'm too angry. I need some perspective. Not the idiot. If people can't go without drinking one night, they have more significant issues. You let everyone know in advance that your reception would be alcohol-free. I think you did the right thing by removing the two of them from the venue before anything happened and not saying anything to your husband until after it was over. I completely agree. I suspect brother and sister-in-law would have gotten sloppy as the night went on and potentially caused trouble, or at the very least, just been annoying. They're adults. If they can't follow the rules, that's their problem. The wedding is about OP and his husband, not about them. They owe you both an apology. I wouldn't invite them to anything else until you get it. I believe that your brother and sister-in-law bragging about it made the throw-out fine. If they'd stayed quiet about it, that would be different in my opinion. But in that way, they not only disrespected you and your husband by breaking your rules, no, they also bragged about it to the other guests, which somewhat ridicules your rules. Since it's your wedding and you're paying for everything, you have a say in it. I, 27 female, have been a nanny for the same family for about 6 months now. It's a toddler baby girl who is the sweetest baby ever. I thought the family was really nice and that we had a good working relationship until yesterday. I always take the baby on walks, either around the neighbourhood or we walk down to this cool shopping centre, where they have a little fountain, a bubble tea shop we like to hang out at. There are toys and games and she always has fun there. We walked down to the bubble tea shop yesterday and we were playing as usual. We're usually out for like an hour when it started raining. It drizzled a bit, so we went inside the shop to wait it out before walking back, and then it started pouring, like storming. It wasn't good. It rained for so long, so I texted the mom saying, "Hey, it's raining really badly, so we're just going to wait it out. We're at the bubble tea shop." She told me it was almost the baby's nap time and that I needed to head home now, like usual. I asked if she'd looked out the window to see how bad it was raining, and she said, "Yes, baby has a cover for their stroller. She will be fine. Please head back." I told her baby had a cover, but I didn't have an umbrella or jacket and I'll get soaked and will have to finish out my shift soaking wet. I asked if she or her husband could just come to pick us up and she said it's my job to do what she says. I told her I wasn't walking back in the rain. After an hour, yes, it kept raining, her husband came and picked us up apologising, saying he was sleeping and didn't know we were out in the rain. When we got back, Mom screamed at me, saying, "How dare I not bring her baby home when she told me to and accused me of kidnapping?" Dad said she was being dramatic but didn't really do much. She threatened to fire me and told me not to come in today and that we'll discuss everything Monday. Was I wrong for not coming back? It was pouring. I didn't want to sit in soaked clothes for hours. My hair would get ruined. I didn't want to get sick. Like, there were so many reasons I didn't want to be in the pouring rain, plus it didn't feel that safe. I guess if I'm wrong, I'll apologise Monday, but my boyfriend said she's being unreasonable and can't fire me for that. I feel I should quit. I don't know. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She is being dramatic and ridiculous when she accuses you of kidnapping the baby. You took the child out with her permission, plus how many kidnappers let the child's parents know exactly where they are and ask if they can pick them up? If the mother were truly concerned about her child, she would have picked you both up, woken her husband up, and told him to pick you both up or organise a taxi. I can only conclude that she had no real concern for the child's safety and was on a weird mama bear power trip. The stroller may have a cover, but the baby could still get wet and sick, which I'm sure the mom would blame you for. While you work for them, that does not mean you have to do whatever they tell you. It must not endanger you or the kid you're caring for. Maybe work until you find another job. Put in notice for them to find another nanny. Agree. I wouldn't want to keep working for her after that. If mommy has the time to harass the nanny, she has time to raise the child. This woman sounds unhinged, to the point where even the dad seems afraid of her. Start looking for new work now.